Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of switching my gaming PC to Manjaro Linux. Previously, we downloaded Manjaro, created a live boot USB, and installed Linux. Today, we are looking to install drivers, enable the AUR, or Arch User Repository, download and install essential programs, set up my wireless Xbox One and controller dongle, and configure Steam to use a Proton compatibility layer for games. This should be a fairly short video because I've been finding that doing anything like downloading programs or installing drivers is actually incredibly easy to do on Linux. I do hope this video may be useful for someone who is thinking about switching over to Linux and wants to know how to install Nvidia drivers for their graphics card, or how to download and install programs, or how do I get my printer to work? Can I play games? Is there something similar to Microsoft Office I could install? I hope to answer some of these questions today. So first things first, I'm going to install the drivers for my graphics card. I have an Nvidia graphics card. So to start off with, go to Start, or technically called Application Launcher here in Linux, I guess. Go to System Settings. On the left side, go to Hardware Configuration. Then under the Installed category, select the checkbox you want to install. I am going to go with the most recent, the top one. To install this, just right mouse click and click Install. Click Yes, enter your password, and wait. We could have also used the auto install if we wanted to. There, complete. It is really quite that simple. At least for Manjaro Linux. I can't say for the other distros. You can close this. If there are anything else, like your network adapter that you want to install, now would be the time to install it. You can also remove or reinstall if you're having issues. I'm just going to leave mine like this. Now, next, let's enable the Arch User Repository in the Package Manager. Simply open the Package Manager. It's called Add or Remove Software. You can find it by going to Start and typing in Add or Remove Software. There it is at the top. Once your package manager is open, click on these three bars in the top right corner. Go to Preferences. Enter your password. At the top, go over to Third Party, and then enable AUR support. Before we close this window, one thing I have seen suggested before online was refresh mirrors. So to refresh your mirrors, go to General, scroll down a little bit, and click Refresh Mirrors. Some other people suggest switching to a local mirror, so a local country to you, as well as refresh mirrors. I found that it works just fine on worldwide, but I did refresh my mirrors earlier. Just one thing that maybe if you're having issues, try that. Now, with the Arch User Repository enabled, we can find pretty much any program we want that is not available in the official repository. Example of that would be, I believe, Spotify. Yeah, Spotify, AUR. I already have it installed, but another good example of the usefulness of the AUR, of the Arch User Repository, is earlier I was trying to get my printer to work. When I went into my system settings, on the side I scrolled down to printers, and my Brother HL2270 printer, Linux could not find a driver for it. My HP printer worked fine, perfectly, didn't have to do anything, just worked out of the box. But my Brother, it couldn't find a driver for it and it refused to work. What I was able to do is actually go into the package manager, type in my printer, so I typed in Brother, and then it's HL2270. I was actually able to find a driver for my printer through the package manager, download, install that, which it does automatically. So I downloaded this, and instantly, like, it just worked. With the package manager, you literally have access to pretty much any program you could ever need. LibreOffice, for example, a perfect replacement for someone looking for a program similar to Microsoft Office. It is in the package manager. To find it, you just type in LibreOffice. If I can type. And you can download and install right through here. And I'll show you an example of LibreOffice Writer, which is like Microsoft Word. Opens up and it's a fairly simple, easy to use word processing app. And it's also compatible with Microsoft Office files. You can also find programs such as Spotify or Google Chrome. I use Google Chrome myself. If Linux came with Firefox, I used to use Firefox, but nothing against it. Just type in what you're looking for. And you'll find it. So, one program I would like to draw a little bit of attention to is the Manjaro Bootsplash Manager. When you shut down your PC or start up your PC, you're usually presented with a black screen with text while Linux starts. Something similar to this image here. Not quite, but pretty similar to something like this or this. So, while it may be useful being able to see the text if you're having an issue booting up, and it will help you diagnosing your issue, but the option is there to cover it up if you're looking for something a little more clean. It's easy to use. Just open up your package manager, search for Bootsplash-manager, and download. To download, just click the download button, click apply, enter your password, and it will download. Apply. Transaction successfully finished. Perfect. With the Bootsplash Manager installed, just type in Bootsplash Manager and open it up. It's easy to use. To download a Bootsplash, you can press the download button, select a Bootsplash that you would like. I already have Manjaro downloaded, but you can do vendor or XFCE or Manjaro glitch. Click install, click yes, enter your password again. Installing, this may take a few minutes, so I will just fast forward. Alright, with that installed, you can close this, and then to try it out before you apply it, you can click on what you want to try and click the play button, and you'll get a preview of your Bootsplash. So when you're booting up your computer, this is what you're going to see. I like the plain Manjaro one myself, and that's what I'm going to go with. And if you want to delete the ones that you don't use, just click on it and click delete. Once you found a Bootsplash that you want to apply, just click apply, and you are done. Alright, the last thing I want to run through is Steam. We want to enable Proton so games will work on Linux. While there are some games on Steam that don't require it because they run natively on Linux, most games actually do need it. And to enable, open up Steam. At the top left corner, click Steam, Settings. On the left side, select Steam Play, and enable Steam Play and Steam Play for other titles. Here you can select what Proton to run. I have the community version here and here, but I found that for the most part, experimental works just fine. Select OK, and Steam will have to restart. Restart Steam. Once Steam is started, you will be able to go in and download and play whatever game you want. If you're curious if your game is going to work on Linux, there is a website called ProtonDB. On ProtonDB, you can search for the game that you want to play. For example, we'll just type in Call of Duty, and then there'll be a rating for each game. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is silver rating. If we click on it, It also come up with comments that people have put down. Runs just like Windows, was able to play the campaign without problems. Works pretty well. So if you're curious to see what games work, I recommend Proton DB. The other thing too is some games will also have, like Skyrim, the audio was broken, but this guy found a fix just by pasting this into the launch options for the game. And it looks like he also created his own YouTube video for a guide. Another thing a lot of people suggest using Proton GE, which is the glorious aggro community version of Proton. And to download something like that is incredibly easy too. Again, I just go into the package manager, download the Proton Community Updater. Download that. Once you have it downloaded and installed, open it up by finding the Proton Community Updater, open it up, and then you can just select what you want to install or remove and click OK. Alright, very last thing I want to talk about is I had some issues getting my Xbox One controller to work wirelessly. If I plugged in the USB cable, it worked just fine, but I have a USB dongle for my controller to work wirelessly with my desktop computer. So I found that was not working, and I found that there was a program called XOW. I tried with the package manager first, and that did not work, so we're going to have to do it a little bit harder of a way, and this is kind of what I've been trying to avoid with Linux, is because it requires a terminal. Thankfully, it's fairly straightforward. Just Google search XOW. There will be a GitHub link, and for those who need a little bit extra help like me, there's just underneath it, there's a website called Addictive Tips, and they have a really excellent guide written up on how to install and download it, or download and install it. So we'll just copy this link, open up our console, and I'll paste that in. It'll download. Then, alright, I'm just going to copy and paste everything in. So make, build, release. Paste that one in. Okay. Sudo make install. So I'll copy that and paste that in. Type in your password. One thing people do suggest is try to be careful when you're copying and pasting stuff into your console. Only copy and paste things that you actually trust. So I'll just copy and paste that. Enable. And try that. And do that. Alright. So, moment of truth. Let's just see if my controller pairs up. And it connected. Let's see, is there a controller? Game controller. Nothing. Oh, it's my keyboard. Xbox One. There we go. The controller works. I am wireless. No issues. That was fairly easy. I was trying to avoid having to use the console or the terminal for installing programs. I'm not very familiar with it myself, so I was hoping to avoid it, but that was fairly straightforward. I did find this guide on addictivetips.com. That was really easy to follow along. I read it before I made the video, so I had a pretty good idea what to do. Yeah. So that's mostly it for me. Thank you for watching. I'm probably gonna make a few videos of just trying to get games playing for this, but for the most part, thank you for watching. If I helped you, great. If there's something you need help with, leave a comment and maybe I can help you, or maybe someone else can help you, but never hurts to ask for help. Thank you, and see you next time.